my name is Missy. Welcome to Do What You Love. So I'm standing in front of my bookshelves today because I had a request from one of my new subbies. Shout out to Karen. I hope I'm saying your last name right, because Chatty. And she asked me twice if I would do a bookshelf tour kind of thing. She's like, I love your books. You need to like show us your books. I have a lot of books, Karen, so I hope you're ready. And on top of that, I'm a big fangirl. So I have like the whole top of my bookshelf and throughout my bookshelves as well, I have like fangirl items. So I am more than willing to share with you guys. I absolutely love books. This is kind of like an exciting video for me. Thank you so much, Karen, for suggesting it. I love when you lovies suggest videos because it gives me ideas to do things that I know that you guys want to watch. So if you're ready, I'm ready. We're going to check out the bookshelves. So guys, I'm going to show you my bookshelves shelf by shelf. I am not going to go through though and tell you what each and every book is, or we'll be here forever. But at the end of the video, I'll revisit my shelves and just show you a few of my absolute favorite books. But I kind of categorized all my shelves. So we kind of like have sci-fi, then sci-fi aliens, then like dystopians, and then fantasy, and then high fantasy. So I'll just go through and tell you kind of like what each shelf is. So the shelf that you're looking at right here is one of my favorite shelves, which is kind of my sci-fi. And then if I kind of like curve it around here, it continues with the sci-fi. I'm trying to make this video the less shaky I can get it. So please forgive it if it's a little shaky. I'm trying my hardest, really and truly. It's on a tripod and I'm trying my hardest not to like make it real shaky, guys. But these are mostly my sci-fi books. I'll bring it back around here. This shelf contains some of my favorite authors, which happens to be, I'll point to them, Jessica Corey, Susan E., and then The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey, one of my favorite authors. And then if I curve it around here to more of my sci-fi books, Alienated by Melissa Landers, which is in the corner there. That was awesome. And then if I move Mr. Owl and kind of pan it to here, you will see that I have the Maze Runner trilogy right here with the Kill Order prequel. So that is one of my favorites. I love that. And then if I continue on over here, this is more of sci-fi fantasy shelf going on here. I have the Red Queen, as you can see, sitting right there, but I'm going to move that so you guys can see the other books below. I have a lot of Amanda Hocking, which, if I move this down, I have the Water Song trilogy, which is Wake, Lullaby, and Tidal. I have her Terrell Bind Up, which is 3 books in one. And then I have these, which I love. And this is the Canaan Chronicles, Frostfire, Ice Kissed, and the Crystal Kingdom. And then another one of my favorites, which if I pan a little, is the Graceling trilogy by Christine Kishore. So that kind of is my sci-fi shelves, which take up 3 shelves. This is the second shelf down. This kind of starts my fantasy shelves. And I have some favorite authors on here as well, which is Elizabeth Richards and Sarah J. Maas. I actually preferred Court of Thorns and Roses over her Throne of Glass series, which I have 2 of those. I only got to the second book and quit. I just kind of wasn't into it, but I'm definitely looking forward to the next one in the Court of Thorns and Roses. I think that's going to be a trilogy. And then in the corner there, I just have an owl with a picture that I took of my roses last year. I just thought it was appropriate to put it there because the book was called Court of Thorns and Roses. And then I have my little dagger, which is very appropriate to sit in front of Black City. Now, if I kind of pan over to the side, my bookshelves are kind of cornered. So I have 2 against one wall and 1 against the other, and I kind of made them like in a corner because I like that look. So this just continues on with my fantasies, but this shelf in particular that you're seeing that holds like all my Divergents, this one in particular is a lot of my dystopians, but they're fantasy as well. So I have, as you can see, two Divergent softbacks. The first one I have there that's kind of silver, that's the actual Divergent book that I read. The second one is the movie version of Divergent that has signed posters. So if I pull it out, see, it's the movie version, and in the back there is signed poster. So that's why I have two softback Divergents. And then, of course, I had to get the collector's edition for Divergent that has a whole bunch of extra commentary and a whole bunch of good stuff. Drawings, commentary from Veronica Roth herself as she was writing the book. Awesome. And then, of course, I have Insurgent and Allegiant, and then the prequel named 4, which I loved that book because it was written all from 4's perspective, which was really cool. And then, you know, as you travel on through, just some more Dystopians that I have. Sorry, my shelves have stuff on them. Relic was a good book. Just some Dystopians that I like. And then on this shelf is all of my contemporaries. It is a very small shelf. I'm not really into the contemporary kind of thing. So I have a few. These ones are from Jessica Brody. A lot of people seem to know who Colleen Hoover is. I have some Abby Glines, and then of course, I have Nicholas Spark books. And that pretty much is the extent of my contemporary shelf. I am not into contemporaries, but if I had to pick a favorite contemporary, it would definitely be this, the Unremembered series by Jessica Brody. That was an awesome trilogy. There is a prequel to that. I have not got that yet, but I did finish the trilogy. Just haven't read the prequel. And she also sends out some awesome swag. So on my shelf down, I have this little wine glass. It holds like all of my bookmarkers and stuff. And in here is the swag that I got with that Unremembered series. So she sent to me a signed bookmark and also a signed sticker. So she sends out some really cool swag. So I was super excited about that. So now we are on my third shelf down, and I kind of dedicated it to the Hunger Games and books like the Hunger Games. And I have the Hunger Games trilogy, as you can see, in gold. That is my favorite Hunger Game necklace. I wear it to every single one of the movie premieres. That will never be anymore because it's over, but I did wear that almost every single one. And then I have my Katniss and Peeta Pop. And then if I pan over a little bit, my husband picked me up that Hallmark Keepsake Mockingjay Part 2 Mockingjay Bird. And then, of course, I have my movie cup from when I went to see it. There's some really good books on that shelf. So I'll share that at the end, what some of my favorites are on that shelf. This is, again, we're sticking to the third shelf, but this is over in the corner. So I have a lot of books on this shelf. As you can see, I have the whole Twilight saga, and then at the top I have the remake, Life and Death. I did not care for that book at all. If you'd like to see a review on that, I will link my other channel down below. You can watch the vlog and my review. Didn't care for it. But I love Twilight. Still Twihard. And as you can see, I have the Forbidden Wish just sitting there. That is just a dust jacket. I'm actually in the middle of reading that book right now, and that is also by Jessica Corey. It is awesome. It is an Aladdin retelling, but it's from the genie's point of view, which I think is awesome. It's so cool. Love Jessica Corey. And then I have some of my, if you can kind of see in there, they're kind of my historical books, I call them that, but they're historical fiction, and some of them are very high fantasy. Like if I point right here to Rampant and Ascendant, those are historical fiction, but they're high fantasy in the fact that it's all about a unicorn hunter. So good books on that shelf. These three are my new purchases besides the Forbidden Wish, and that is the Raven Boys and H2O and Storm. I already did a review of H2O, so I kind of have two books going on at the moment. Does anybody else do that? I'm reading the Forbidden Wish and Storm kind of at the same time, so I'm bad about that. I'm really bad about that, but I try to read as many books as I can. Okay guys, so this shelf that you're kind of seeing here has a few different kind of books mixed into it. It kind of starts, let's see if I can't find it. If you see the Ted Dekker book right here, from that point on, it starts my Christian fiction collection, which will continue down onto the next shelf. But these kind of books over here are just a few more, if you want to call them contemporary. They're kind of contemporary books. Some of them have like, I don't know what you want to call it, like a fantasy feel to them. They're not like the mushy gushy love stories. They're based on a love story, but they have like a fantasy element kind of to them, if that makes sense. So I kind of categorize that small little bit to its own little corner there in the shelf. And then, like I said, from like Ted Dekker on over here, some of these are a lot of my Christian fiction. I do read a lot of Christian fiction books. Love Ted Dekker. I actually got to meet him last year. Insert picture. Isn't that awesome? Yeah, he signed my books and everything. Awesome, awesome, awesome guy. Love Ted Dekker. I actually got to hear him teach and everything. He's awesome. One of my favorite Christian fiction authors is right beside that. Besides Ted Dekker is Shannon Ditmore, and then I'd have to say my other favorite is James L. Rubert, which you'll see down on the next shelf. Guys, so this is the fourth shelf down. And this is the one that's against the wall. You will see the rest of my Christian fiction because I kept them kind of together. So when I pan over, you'll see them on the next shelf, like I said. So it kind of like fell, I don't know how to explain it. That's on a different side of the wall. So this is continuing with some of my absolute favorite books from childhood. There's a whole story behind my Jurassic Park. If you'd like to know more about why Jurassic Park is so special to me, why I love Michael Crichton, because this is my Michael Crichton and my Dean Koontz shelf, as you can probably see. He is the author that inspired me to become an author and my love for books and reading. And he and Dean Koontz was all I read from like 13 years old to like 18. And then I found young adult books and fell in love with YA. But anyways, this is kind of my Michael Crichton and Dean Koontz. That's why they're all the little ones, because back in the 90s, it was very hard to find hardback books. Everything was a little teeny tiny paperback books. Do you remember that, guys, in the 90s? So that's why most of my books from the 90s are that little. But anyways, I did a whole tribute video to Michael Crichton because I was totally impressed that when Jurassic World came out, that a whole new generation was being inspired by Michael Crichton, even though he's gone. He passed away from cancer a couple years ago. A whole new generation is being inspired by Michael Crichton still with Jurassic World. So I thought that was pretty amazing because I went to see Jurassic Park in 1993 and it totally changed my life. And then in 2015, a whole new generation was going to be inspired. So make a long story short, I did a whole dedication video. I even reenacted myself as 14-year-old Missy. If you'd like to see that video, I will link it down below. I posted it on my other channel, Missy's Book. So this is the shelf that I was talking about. This is the continuation of my Christian fiction books. So as you can see there, I have the chair. And my rooms is upside down, which I don't know why, but The Chair there by James L. Rubert is one of my favorite books. I love James L. Rubert. I have quite a few of his books. Actually, 3 of them are being loaned out right now. I recommend him quite a bit to people who like Christian fiction. I like Mike Delloso too. He's awesome. And Karen Kingsbury, I have a few of her books, and of course Ted Dekker, as you can see him in there again. And then I have some other Christian fiction books back there behind that picture of myself, my sister, and my father. The shelf here kind of houses some of my favorite books that I read as a child as well. And of course, one being C.S. Lewis's, as we know it to be Narnia, but the original was called The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And I have the full collection of that. I also have the box set of Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Another one of my favorite series is Little Women's by Louise L. Maycott. Just a few of those are my favorites. And then I have some more books that are kind of overflowing from the shelf above. Some of those are Christian fiction. And 2 of those books I have not read yet. That's kind of why they're down there. And then one of my books, my books are kind of scattered throughout my bookshelf. And then of course I have a picture of my mom, my sister, and my kids today that we went to CORE because when my father passed away, he was an organ donor, and that was the day that they celebrated his donation to his donors. And we got to find out some people who actually received some things from my father. So that was a really cool day. So I have that sitting on my bookshelf. This is the final shelf. So we are 5 shelves down. And over here in the corner, I'm going to pan. I hope this isn't shaky. As you can see, a whole bunch of movie posters. And then in the corner here, I have a ton more movie posters. Those are all of my book to movie adaptation posters. I did a whole video explaining why I took them down, but I have a ton of them. I would say if I'm looking at them, I probably have 30 or more. Like I said, I'm a fangirl. And then underneath of them, you're going to see magazines. I will grab all of those and show you this when I show you all my fangirl stuff. But then over here, I have some more of my books. And these are more of your adult fiction kind of books. I like Karen Harper. There are just a few of, like I said, more of my adult fiction kind of books. This shelf here houses my Bibles. Those 2 big folders that you see, those are full of pocket letters. The little black one is my December daily, and then the 2 little ones have stickers. And then as you can see, I have a huge picker jar full of pennies, quarters, dimes, nickels, everything and anything that you can find. I actually have a cool little thing that I do with that I jokingly started with my husband because I spend a lot of money on books, as you probably can tell, and he was like, Missy, you have to curb your book buying. So I came up with an idea that, like, at the end of the week, I take all of the change at the bottom of my purse, pennies, quarters, dimes, all of it, and I throw it in this pickle jar. And when it is full, I take it into one of those machines at the grocery store, and whatever I get back is my book budget. That's what I get to spend. And let me tell you guys, the last time I filled that pickle jar, it was almost $200. Yeah, so I had a $200 book buying spree, and my husband couldn't say anything because it was all of my leftover change. So that's kind of why I do that. So the last shelf here that you see, I don't fill because, as you can see right there, is the plug. We had to cut that out of the bookshelf in order to put it on this wall. That big gray, whatever, brown plug right there, that controls all of my stuff. That's my computers, my lights, my printer, all of my stuff. And then the white one is my lights around my bookshelf. So I can't put a lot of books down there. So it just houses my very first book in hardback, which is Dreams from the Burning Trilogy. And then the big black thing behind it is actually my photo album. It is a scrapbook of my journey to becoming an author for the first time. If you guys would ever be interested in like looking at that or hearing more about my journey to becoming an author, because it's very detailed. There's specific reasons besides being inspired by Michael Crichton. It has a lot to do with my father's passing and things like that. Please let me know down in the comments. I don't want to bore you with that stuff, but if you'd be interested, I'd be more than happy to do a video on that. Okay guys, so now I'm going to show you some of my fangirl stuff. I have a lot of Hunger Games magazines. This one is a special edition from People. This one is the collector's edition from Us. I have the Mockingjay popcorn bag that, yes, I paid $8 for with no popcorn in it just so I could have it. And I was so disappointed because it came with Gale on the back and not PETA. I have the this is the Complete Saga, the collector's edition from Us, which is a completely different one than the one I just showed you. I have the collector's edition from Entertainment Weekly. Yes, I have a 17 magazine, but it's for a specific reason. I watch a specific person that was debuted in 17 magazine from BookTube, which is actually where my other YouTube channel is, Missy's Book Cubby. And she is one of the people who inspired me to do it, and her name is Sasha. And she had her little debut in this book, which this is her over here where it says Book Talk, and she was recommending her favorite books. This is her, Sasha Asberg, and I absolutely love her. And her channel is called A Bookatopia. So if you ever want to check her out, it's a Bookatopia on YouTube, but they call it BookTube. So that's why I had that magazine, because I thought it was awesome. And then I have my collector's edition Jurassic World calendar that I will never take out of the plastic because I'm just a big geek like that and collect all this stuff. Try to make this not as shaky as possible. I kind of have to hold my tripod because my bookshelves are kind of tall, but this starts my fangirl stuff, which of course is another Hunger Games Collector's Edition magazine. My Hunger Games pen and bracelet. I have an Insurgent popcorn bucket. There is the first Hunger Games Collector Edition movies cups. Everything's kind of mixed in together, guys. This is some of my Jurassic World Collector's Edition kind of things. That's like a little pouch that has a surprise in it. The movie cup, one of my dinosaurs. Over here, I have another Hunger Games Collector's Edition. This is from Mockingjay Part 1 movie cup. This one I special ordered because it came with a keychain. I have a keepsake from Hallmark Tris ornament. I believe that's from 2014. This is my Divergent movie companion collector's edition magazine. I have my big guy over there that I used in my tribute. That's my T-Rex. I have the collector's edition Jurassic World Mike and Ike candy. And then I have all of the DQ cups. Do you remember when Dairy Queen was having the big reveal thing for Jurassic World? Remember the commercials and all their cups and everything were like scenes from the movie? I have every single one of them, and they're kind of sprinkled about. There is the movie cup for Jurassic World, the original Divergent cup, movie cup. Here's more of those DQ cups. Here are my Barbies. Yes, I have two collector's edition Divergent Barbies. I have Tris and of course 4. Hi 4, how are you? I've never taken them out of the box. They are Barbie, let's see if I can't see it, Barbie Collector's Edition, so I do not take them out of the box. And then over here I have more movie cups. I have more, that's from Insurgent, and more of those DQ Jurassic Park cups. I just wanted to show you real quick some of my favorite books. I promised to make this quick. Of course here, Jessica Corey, she is absolutely one of my favorites. Origin started it all for me. Vitro and Kalahari, awesome. And then right here is Penryn and the End of Days trilogy by Susan E. This was actually my favorite trilogy of 2015. Incredible, high sci-fi fantasy books. Love them. And then of course The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey. Black City trilogy by Elizabeth Richards, which includes Phoenix and Wings. Awesome high fantasy trilogy, fantastic. It has vampires and all kinds of crazy creatures in it. The story's incredible. Love story. It's such a good book. And then of course A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas, another high fantasy book, but love, 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 love this. I don't think I have to say much. Of course, I love Divergent. Alienated over there by Melissa Landers. Awesome, awesome book. It's funny. It's sci-fi funny. Let me tell you, it's funny, but I really, really did love it. Another awesome sci-fi fantasy book, which is Fire in the Woods by Jennifer M. Eaton. Oh, this book is so good. It's so funny. It's angsty. It had me laughing, but yet it's serious. And oh my gosh, everything you would want in like a high sci-fi fantasy book, this has it. I cannot wait to get the second of this. I can't wait. And of course, everybody loves The Maze Runner, right? Right? I cannot recommend The Canaan Chronicles by Amanda Hocking. Awesome. Frostfire, Ice Kissed, and Crystal Kingdom. Excellent, excellent books. High fantasy. Guys, these are about trolls. But nothing like you would think what movies depict trolls. These trolls are awesome. Never in my life read books about trolls, and now I'm like totally obsessed with these kind of troll books. They're so good. Love this trilogy. And of course, guys, gotta recommend The Hunger Games. But another awesome trilogy that I have here that was really, really good is the Monument 14 trilogy by Emmy Laybourne, which is Monument 14, Monument 14 Sky on Fire, and Monument 14 Savage Drift. These were awesome. These are like end of days, apocalyptic, survival kind of stories, teens, angst, YA. Just awesome, awesome. I read these like in like 4 days. All 3 of them. I could not put them down. So, so good. Loved it. Of course, I recommend Jurassic Park. Always. H2O was an awesome book. Loved it. Did a review on this. If you're interested in hearing more about this, I will link it down below. And last but not least, if I had to recommend a Christian fiction trilogy, my favorite has to be Angel Eyes, Broken Wings, and Dark Halo by Shannon Ditmore. Incredible Christian fiction, fantasy. Yes, Christian fiction comes in fantasy trilogy. Incredible. The writing in this was absolutely spot on, beautiful, high fantasy, angels, demons, just good stuff. It's YA. I absolutely loved it. Highly recommend that if you think you'd like to try out a Christian fiction book. So, I told you I had a lot of books. I tried to go through them as fast as I can without like going through each individual book. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope I didn't ramble and talk too much. You know me, Miss Chatty. But yeah, I'm a complete fangirl down to having Barbies. Hi, my name is Missy. I am 36 years old, married with 2 children, and I have Divergent Barbies. Yeah, I do. So, that's my bookshelves. That's my fangirl silliness. If you guys want to see more like book reviews, I've read a lot of books. I haven't been reading as much. I've been really busy with some other stuff, but if you saw any of my books on my shelves, most of the books on my shelves I have read. If there's any specific book that I mentioned that you'd like me to do a review on, you got it. Just message me down below and I will do some book reviews for you all. If there's anything book related that you guys would like to see me do more of, no problem. I definitely can do that. I have a lot of videos up on another channel that I started like 2 years ago called Missy's Book Cubby. I have not updated that channel in about 5 months because I've been so busy with Do What You Love. That channel is mostly for you know, BookTube. BookTube is a hard place to project yourself because, you know, people have all different kinds of tastes with books and things like that. So the channel really wasn't growing, and it's so like one-sided. Like, they only really want to hear about books and things like that. And I love books, as you can tell. I'm an author. I love books. I love writing. I love all of that. But I'm more than that, and that's why I decided to do this channel, Do What You Love, because I love DIYs, and I love my Dollar Tree, and I love hauls, and I love cooking, and I love all that stuff too. So I thought, well, I think I'll put all of my energy into Do What You Love and see kind of what happens with Missy's Book Cubby. And it's so ironic that you guys kind of like saw my bookshelves and things like that, and I did a few book reviews because of the vlogs of the movies that I was going to see, book to movie adaptations, and you guys asked, so I started doing some book reviews here. So instead of filming for like 2 different channels, I think I'm just gonna let Missy's Book Cubby go and just concentrate here on Do What You Love, but I can add some bookish things to Do What You Love. But you guys can go back and check out that channel. I'll link it down below. There's a ton of book reviews and book tags and book silliness on that channel if you're interested. Tell me what you think. So anyways, here I am again, chit-chatting away as usual. If you are new to Do What You Love, welcome. I'm so happy that you're here. Please subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Be part of the Lovey family. I'm so happy that you're here. And I will definitely chit-chat at you guys soon. You know I will. And yeah, I'll talk to you then.